What's going on, everybody? It's Mad coming at you with another video. I really just want to talk about Bo. Can we talk about Bo? Bo, in my opinion, is one of the most versatile brawlers in the whole game, and I want to get into some videotape here and just kind of show you why I think that and how he can be used. I think he's the best controller in the whole game, but he can be used on every map, every mode. He's really versatile, close range, long range, mid range, and just his ability to control the map is second to none. So we're going to get into this right here. If you see me take some space here and really just try to hold down the corners. This one is not really a good example because my team just didn't feel like playing. One of my teammates just kind of stood around, but really it does end up picking up. I ended up getting 19 kills in this game, so we're going to see what's up. So if you notice, especially on this map, I'm really just peppering the areas in front of me. I'm not trying to do like kill shot damage. I'm really just pushing them back, and I end up throwing some mines right there. Now I have the trip mine gadget on, and I threw them up to the left, and I didn't mind if I hit anybody. And the reason is because I really just wanted to control that area. And what did I mean by this? A controller needs to create space for your team. You have to push them around. It's not necessarily about getting the last kill. They're not really high damage dealers. They don't want to, jump on somebody and kill them quickly. They're going to push people around and create space. So if you notice here, I'm going to run this back. There's a Frank that is hurt. He runs backwards. I end up throwing the mines into that little space where he's at. What that does is keep the Frank backwards. He cannot push forward, and the Chester cannot push back into the bush. It forced the Chester to push up into us, and we ended up killing them both. Frank had to come in late to the party. It was a 3-on-1, and we get the score. And that's what you want to do as a controller. Controllers need to push people around the map. They need to create space for their team. They're not necessarily going to just throw the mines on them in Bo's example. They're not going to throw the mines on top of somebody and somebody's just going to walk on top of them. No, you're going to push them around. I threw that mine behind the Chester and in front of the Frank, and that separated them. It created a little wall. Chester was forced to push up. If he didn't push up, we were going to push him back into the mines. So you just want to push people around and control the game, basically. Controllers are kind of like the coaches in a way. They're not getting the most kills, but they just want to spread people out and make them do what you want them to do. That's the beauty of it. Had a pretty good kill right there. So this next example, it ends up in them scoring, but I would just kind of want to show it here. I end up getting my hypercharge right here and throwing mines into the middle of the map. And then what I do is play in those mines, right? So I'm not running away from them. I'm not trying to body them and make them push them into it. I'm using them as almost like a shield, right? I know that they cannot push up. The mines are in the middle right there. My team ends up dying here. And what happens is I stay alive and I play in my mines. And because of this, they cannot just run forward and run me over. The Chester has to run around the mines. It takes him a little bit. He misses a few shots. And it allowed my team to come back. All just because I had mines that I played around. They were just in the middle of the map and nobody could get through them. Let's take a look at a great example here. As soon as the match starts, I try to farm my super as fast as I can, obviously like everybody does. But they just happen to group up, so I get it very quickly. The moment I get my super, I toss it into that bush right in front of me. There's nobody there. There's one person there. They end up backing up, but those mines are sitting there. They cannot take that space anymore. Once I realize that we won that fight, there's nobody around, I immediately blow it up, and we take control of that whole area. We can see it. They can't really hide behind it anymore. Immediately controlled half of the map, like a good Bo does. And that's what you want to continue to do. Just create space for your team. Now, here's another smaller example. I'm going to slow this down for you. They have a lot of pressure. The Chester's really pressuring us. I pop my hypercharge and I throw the mines right behind the Chester. It is me versus him, and that's it. And I had more health. So one of two things was going to happen there. Either he was going to score, which I had confidence in myself that I could body block, or he was going to run into the mines or eat all of my arrows. That was the only two options there. And what happened? He ended up eating all the arrows. I get the ball back, and we end up pushing down Main Street for the hopeful score here. So we keep bouncing the ball around, and I'm just throwing mines out, just constantly, just right in front, breaking boxes, taking space, just being super annoying. Not trying to put the perfect placement of mines. I'm throwing it right on top of them. I'm throwing it behind them. I'm throwing it to their right so they run left. All of these things matter. As soon as I get my super, I'm just tossing mines out. As soon as I get it, toss mines out. As soon as I get it, toss mines out. And right there, we pushed them all the way into the corner. We got a couple picks, and my team was able to push up and just score it. Here's another example I'm going to show you. So I end up popping my hyper, and I throw my super behind this Chester. It pushes the Chester and the Lou off to the right. Why would I just throw it into a blank space, right? I threw it into that blank space at the entrance because, one, they still had boxes up. Two, the Frank was dead. So the Frank coming back, even though he's got the shield on, is going to naturally pop those mines for us. And what are they going to do? They're going to blow up all the boxes. And you think a Frank cares with a bubble on him? Think he cares about those mines? No, these people are going to walk right through it, and they're going to do exactly what I want them to do, which was pushing the Lou and the Chester off to the right. It was a 3-on-2. We had perfect angles on them in the corner, and we ended up getting the kills. And then we get the added bonus of Frank just breaking all the boxes for us. They end up getting the score here, but you're going to see why those mines breaking the boxes are a big deal. This set us up for the long term. We were up 1 already when that happened. So they tied it. It's 14 seconds left. End up getting my super. I throw it in the middle. The Chester ends up walking right on them because he has to try to hold that point. We end up killing him, and look how much space we have just to shoot that ball in around the Lou. They have no chance to stop that. All right, now I'm going to get into why I said at the beginning that Bo is one of the strongest in the game, if not the best controller. He does high damage with his main attacks, and then he can just completely destroy environments, take control of any area he wants, and just make the other team be on their back foot the whole time. So here's one example coming up. I'm going to have to slow this down for you. It's very small, but it'll matter later in the round again. So right here, I'm about to get my hypercharge, and Chester pushes up. He ends up dying because, 3-on-1. But I end up getting my hypercharge right here. Now Frank's coming at me. I throw my super behind him. Why would I do that, Mad? Why would you do that? What's wrong with that? Because it's just me and the Frank on the right side. I know that I can outrange him, and he cannot go back into that bush and play around cover. One more time in slow motion, just so you can see. It blocks off his escape. He basically has to fight me. He's going to push forward because he thinks he's a giant tank. I get a little help from the Griff. And again, I'm outranging him, and I end up getting the kill right here. Next, I'm going to showcase how strong Bo actually is when all of his mines hit. So if you just watch what's going on here, we're poking. I'm throwing some mines out in the open, kind of forcing the Chester to fight us. We end up pinching him in a 3v1, and we got the kill right there. The Rico ended up dying. That's okay. So I end up getting my hypercharge here. I end up getting my super. As soon as I get it, I throw it out in the open, and it creates a ton of space. The Chester cannot push to help with the Lou. The Lou gets killed in a 2v1 off to the right, and then Frank is dead, and he doesn't see me place these mines. He walks right into them, and boop. Look at that. I mean, I did so much damage on both of them. There's nothing they could do about it. You love to see it. This is the power of Bo and being a massive controller here. You can surprise attack somebody. He does a ton of damage, and they don't see it coming. And you create so much space and move people where you want them to. Now my team ends up making a crazy save here. We end up stopping them. I end up blocking the ball right there. I mean, just the team is in sync, and you love to see it. Now let's get into this last section here. The game's winding down. There's about 30 seconds left, and I'm just peppering mines all over the place. I am running the trip mine gadget. I do think it's a little better, especially for modes like this, and you're going to see why here in 2 seconds. Remember when I cut that Frank off and broke those boxes at the same time? Well, look, there's nothing in front of us. I ended up breaking more boxes here, and we ended up scoring. Let's slow that down so you can see exactly what happened. I have the trip mine gadget on again, so I pop it right here. It freezes the Lou, and they really have no shot to stop that with only 10 seconds left. There was nothing in front of us, as you could see. There's no boxes. I blew those up way earlier in the match. They don't have a chance. Look at how much protection we have on this section of the map right now, and then the match is just straight up over. That's it, y'all. I hope you learned something. I want to do instructional videos on some of the nuances of these brawlers. I'm going to try to get to every single one. I think that Bo is highly slept on. Hopefully this video will have people playing him a lot more. Just not in my lobbies because I don't really want to deal with him. But I think he's the best controller in the game by far. His base damage, it got a buff recently, and he does a lot of damage from his main attack. But if you put the mines in the right spot, you can control the whole match. Whether you even get a bunch of kills is kind of irrelevant, but if your teammates are cleaning up the kills or you're just pushing them back to certain spots on the map where you just control hot zones and are able to score the brawl ball a lot easier, it can't be beat. Squeak only has 3 shots, and he can't do what Bo can do. Just having those mines on the map anywhere, not even exploding, create massive problems. Squeak's bombs go away after you shoot them, obviously, and he can push people around a little bit, but it's temporary. Bo can be permanent. Bo can make people move where you want them to move and stay there, right? Because the risk is getting severely punished for pushing up. But that's all I want to say. I appreciate you watching this long, and I hope you learned something. If you learned something, hit that thumbs up, hit that bell, give me a subscribe. I appreciate you. It helps me keep doing what I'm doing. And I really like making these videos, and I know I'm just getting off the ground, so I need all the help I can get. I appreciate y'all. Take care.